Hello, folks. Welcome to Minerals, Rocks, and Fossil Talks. I'm your paleontology teacher, Jen, and it's Fossil Friday, and I'm so excited because we're talking about Stegosaurus, which is by far the best dinosaur, and it's totally not my heavily biased opinion at all. Stegosaurus was discovered by Arthur Lakes in Morrison, Colorado, and named by your boy Othniel Charles Marsh. Originally, Marsh believed that Stegosaurus was some sort of turtle-like animal, which is why he named it roof lizard. Stegosaurus is one of the first dinosaurs we learned to recognize as kids due to the plates and the spikes, and it's just so easy to recognize. And I hope you pause the video to take a chance to read this Calvin and Hobbes comic, because Calvin and Hobbes is gold and the dinosaur ones are like platinum. Stegosaurus was over 20 feet long and weighed several tons, and I would absolutely love to ride one, which is beside the point, but there you go. It had a relatively small skull with these small triangular teeth in the back of the mouth, which were used for grinding. There were no teeth at the front of the mouth, which they have concluded means that it probably had some sort of keratinous beak that it would use to just rip plants off of whatever bush or fern it was eating from, and then it would get shoved in the back of the mouth where it would get ground down by all the tiny, crazy looking teeth. Stegosaurus had around 10 cervical, neck, 17 dorsal, back, 4 sacral, hips, and 46 caudal tail vertebrae. The dorsal verts, as seen here, were stretched out to make them really tall. All of them really are like that, but the dorsals were the most obvious. And halfway down the tail, the neural spine, so that's that top bit, began to bifurcate or split, and it looked kind of cool. Diplodocids do this, so that's like Diplodocus and Apatosaurus. They have bifurcated neural spines. Stegosaurus had 3 toes on their back feet and 5 toes on their front feet, which is neat. Of course, the most recognizable part were the plates and spikes, which were highly specialized osteoderms, like the scales that we see on modern crocs. So osteoderms are bony cord scales, which is why we can find them in the fossil record. The largest of these plates sat over the hips, and they were up to 24 inches or 60 centimeters wide and tall, so fairly large plates. The function of these plates have been hotly debated for years. In fact, when I was getting my bachelor's degree, in one of my paleo courses, I actually wrote a paper about the plates and what function they might hold. There are a lot of blood vessels running through the plates, and you can see on my replica there that there's a lot of blood vessels in there. It's not ideal for defense to have blood vessels like that. That could just be that those blood vessels fed into a keratinous sheath. And there is evidence that it could have had a keratinous sheath. There was a study done in 2010 by Christensen, and I think his name is Shop. Their name is Shop. They found skin impressions on Hesperosaurus, which is a relative found in the Morrison Formation, so alongside our Stegosaurus. Found skin impressions on the plates and determined that it probably had a keratinous sheath that would make them stronger and potentially fairly sharp. Personally, I think they were more used for flushing blood into them, the way that modern lizards do. you've ever seen an angry bearded dragon, and I've gotten mine to do this, not intentionally, but he's done this, they'll flush blood into their scales to change the color. Whether it's for aggression towards predators, whether it's aggression toward other males, whether it's to show off for females, because some will just flush color to make themselves look really pretty and get female attention. So it could have been used for both of these things easily. And the plates are huge. They could have been used to make themselves look bigger to predators so that it's like, should I eat them? He looks kind of big for me. I don't know. Then again, who knows if that would work, because the other option was, sauropods. So, I don't know. Another possibility for the use of these plates is that they could have been used for thermoregulation, but not the way that we typically think, where it's like, oh, I have to go sit out in the sun and absorb heat. I'm talking the way that cattle use their horns, or that ducks use their bills. They'll release excess heat through the horns or the bill, and the plates easily could have been used to relieve the excess heat that the body would create. And of course, everyone really wants to hear about the Thagomizer. So the best part is that the Thagomizer is a word that actually came from this Far Side comic, and we as scientists liked it so much, we just kind of pulled it into the literature, and we've been using it ever since. Because who doesn't love the word Thagomizer? Thank you, Far Side. And believe it or not, there has also been controversy and debate over whether they actually use their spikes as a weapon, and not just for display. Robert Bacher, a pretty well-known paleontologist, believed that the tail was flexible enough to be used as a weapon because it lacked ossified tendons that we see in other dinosaurs that are used to stiffen the tail. There were people who disagreed and believed that the plates that go along the tail would inhibit the ability to use the tail as a weapon. However, Bacher also came to the conclusion that the front legs were muscular enough to allow it to pivot and swivel on its front half to get that back half going, where it needed to in order to defend itself. And then McWhinney and others did a study that showed high incidence of trauma-related damage to the tail and spikes, implying that they were in fact used as a weapon. Plus, we have this lovely specimen here where we found an Allosaurus caudal bone with a puncture that a Stegosaurus spike would fit into quite snugly. So, ouch. So there are possibly 2 or 3 species of Stegosaurus. Right now we have S. ungulatus, S. stenops, and S. sulcatus. Personally, I think there's just the one, stenops. Ungulatus is probably just a synonym with stenops. He's just bigger. I mean, I don't know why we keep trying to use size as some grand be-all to end-all thing. We know that size is a huge individual variation thing. So I think that they're synonyms, and a lot of other scientists do too. And then Sulcatus, which is this lower one here, doesn't even look like Stegosaurus, so he's probably an entirely different genus. Whoops. So there are 2 absolutely amazing things that I love about Stegosaurus. Number 1, we have a specimen that was found with throat armor, and that's just wicked cool. We don't have anything else that has throat armor. But the ultimate best thing, we have baby stegosaurs, and they have the best name ever. They're called steglings. How can you not love the word stegling? That is so cute. To end this, I'd just like to say we have found stegosaur remains at our dig site, so if you're as into Stegosaurus as I am, you guys can come join us this summer at CNCC for our summer paleo program, where we will dig up dinosaur bones, learn about the geology, and just have a blast. You can check us out at cncc.edu/paleontology-summer and get all the information you need. hope to see you this summer and fossilize you later.